since we've last been on.
It does, yeah. It's certainly feeling that way. So we've got wind though to blush,
Yeah,
dust,
we always,
yeah,
always
yeah,
drop for that
dust,
one.
dust the cobwebs out.
What we're on now, middle of June, isn't it? So
Yeah, we're at 11th of June today.
11th of June, yeah. It's quite a nice evening, apart from, we've got a bit of a strong breeze, and it's been a good day. We've started cropping a few bits, haven't we? I had a good £10 of strawberries off today, haven't I?
Yeah, there were some nice ones in there.
Yeah. And you've had a fair share of potatoes up, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had quite decent for this time of year, to be fair, with potatoes. Good few boils.
Which ones have you been growing then, what you had?
So the ones that we've had already were the Nicola and I think it was the Cara. Also one of the shop bought ones that we had.
Yeah, it's fine, that's worth a try, innit? Just
Yeah.
got a bag of shop bought and they're starting to sprout.
Yeah,
If you win,
that's
you
it.
know,
If you get a return, you get a return. If you don't, you've not lost out.
Exactly, yeah, if you've had a few spare. So, have they all been first earlies or second earlies? Or?
Yeah, all first earlies. The shop bought one. It didn't have a variety on it, so unsure what they were. But like I say, we've got about maybe £2 off them, which is decent.
Yeah, it's a couple of boilings, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've all been replanted, so hopefully in a couple more weeks we'll have a.
What, the smaller,
Yeah.
undersized for eating?
Yeah. So we've just replanted them back up.
We'll get a few off them. Have they been done in buckets then? Or?
Yeah, buckets
Yeah,
and yeah.
Nice and clean then in buckets.
Yeah, nice and clean. No scab, no issues with wildworm or anything like that. No slug. So.
Brilliant, yeah. I haven't started harvesting mine yet, but I think I was a bit behind you with planting them anyway. But,
Yeah.
I've noticed I've got the rockets is the early one I do, I always have done. I've noticed I've got 1 or 2 now coming into flower. So
Yeah, it won't be long.
they want a top up, a bit more compost being in buckets, and I think they should be for the end of this month. The ones that we did in the bed with plastic over them, they're a bit further behind. I'm going to see what the weather does this week. If we've had no rain by the end of the week, I'm going to give them a good watering.
Yeah.
I'll fetch them on a bit.
We have been sparse this year, haven't we, with water?
But at the end of the day, folks, the thing is, your potatoes, same as everything else. I haven't planted them all at the same time, because I don't want to lift them all at the same time. Because then you've got the storage problems. I sooner try as much as I can when I'm lifting them, I'm eating them, I'll be sharing them with family, friends, whoever like wants them. We do it that way, sooner doesn't have a glut of them all at once.
That's it.
That's the thing, isn't it?
That's what it's about, isn't it? It's about eating fresh veg.
And the other good thing with that as well, Dan, when they're in them buckets of compost, when the taters are ready for lifting, pretty much what you planted at that time will be at the same stage. So
Yeah.
with the compost, you can always take what you need, cut the tops off, stop watering, leave them in compost where it's dry.
Yeah.
You'll use them whenever you want.
Yeah.
Not when they're in the ground, because the slugs and this, that and other, we've got to get them up and out. Especially I found with rocket, you leave rocket in ground too long,
We've gone.
you get attached, yeah. So yeah, right, so today's episode, it's a bit different, isn't it, Dan?
It is.
Now for something a little different.
It's a bit like watching these hack videos.
yeah, well, pretty much that's what it is, because I spend a lot of time on YouTube at night and other social medias looking at who's doing what gardening wise, same as everybody else, picking up tips, looking for ideas. I keep coming across a lot of these hacks, on certain organic sprays to use for plants instead of using pesticides and things like that. And I stumbled on one what fits in with what we're going to do anyway, because I think 2 or 3 people have asked me about doing rose cuttings in last couple of weeks actually. And then I've seen one on YouTube, and also I think I read about it on Wiki, with this doing rose cuttings into potatoes.
Right, okay.
Potatoes, Dad.
Potato!
Yeah, so I thought, well, we'll not knock it till we've tried it. So we're going to do rose cuttings, but a little bit different.
Interesting.
We to crack on.
Let's crack on.
Right, so this is the shrub rose that I'm going to take the cuttings off. This is one of the dog roses, Rosa canina. It's got a slightly tinge pinkish flower. It's a nice rose, it really is. I do like dog roses, the old rose briars and such. the material we're after for doing the cuttings, what we'll be doing is what we call a semi-ride cutting. So if I was just to take that small section there, see how soft that is, that's softwood, obviously it's a tip cutting. I'm looking for stuff that isn't fully wood, but it is starting to stiff up, you know, it's starting to,
Yeah, so
to bend, you know, not to bend, but to get that firmness like an hardwood would.
so is that the difference between the colour as well, the darker green to the lighter?
Yeah, what you're looking for, take a cutting off this year's growth. This year's growth is this lot lighter green growth, then this dark green is last year's growth. Yeah.
Right.
So that's how you differentiate. I know you've took a still of that, haven't you, Dan, so they can pick it up a bit easier. Right, I'm looking for, you can cut your material quite long, you know, it's up to you really on that one. I'll cut it a bit long, give myself something to play with. I'm just having a quick check. There's no aphid or black fly damage on this. I can't see any black spot or anything like that. You don't seem to get that so much on these Rosa caninas, on dog roses. It seems to be more on hybrid teas and floribundas. So I'm going to do a nice, bend it down so I'll see where I'm on with. A good cut at a good angle. Again, a nice angle on that. Again, all that's for, as I've said before, when we get some rain, it doesn't sit on that and rot it runs off. That gives that chance to heal up, you know, to calcify. I've got a tray down here, what you can't see, I'm just chucking my cutting material in that. I'm looking for stuff that's getting on towards pencil thickness, basically is what I'm looking for. Look, a couple more. Right, I've got 5 or 6 in my tray, so we'll go over to the greenhouse and we'll show you the hack. That's where we are back in greenhouse then. It's just under 80 degrees in here at the minute, so it's quite warm. Got as material what we took off the Rosa canina over on the other plot. All I did obviously was just drop them in a tray and fetch them over. If you go in any sort of distance with them, again, if you can put them in some water like would do cut flowers, or a decent sized polythene bag just to preserve moisture. So I'm going to get one of my cuttings out. I'll get this one. I'm looking for about secateurs length just under, so I'm going to go for there. Again, you're looking for a node. The nodes aren't as obvious on here, but it's where there's a leaf joint. I'm going under that and I'm doing a nice angled cut. There we are. I'll get rid of that one. I want to remove some of the foliage because the moisture loss, but we want to retain some as well, obviously to help the energy of the plant when it builds. Now, the first part of our rack, so that's going to be my first cutting. Instead of using rooting powder, which I don't use anyway, I'm going to try this, which I've seen people going on about.
Yeah, the cinnamon.
Ground cinnamon. I reckon it does help aid rooting. It helps, again, it's the auxin hormone that is the main one for helping a plant put roots out, shall we say. Right, so we need a drill bit now.
Ooh.
Get our drill bits out. There's my potato. Looking for one that basically marries up about the same thickness as the stem. So I'm good with that. Yep.
So that's an 8mm, is it? About an 8mm.
That's beyond me, mate. that's as much good as I am at doing DIY drilling potatoes. Excuse me. Right, so I'm going to drill into the potato. What you don't want to do is go all the way through the potato. You want to try and get roughly 3/4 of the way through it. Just got nice and steady. Don't go in full pelt because you're going to spray yourself with starch and a little bit more. That'll do. Just keep your eye on the hole. Dan, haven't you asked me why I'm doing this at all, aren't you? Slightly curious.
I am slightly curious.
Nice tight fit into that. So that's one of your cuttings done. Cutting into a potato.
If I was to say, I would possibly maybe something to do with the starch?
Yeah, in a roundabout way, yeah. The reason, when I've watched these acts and I've read up a bit about it, as Mrs. has just remove a bit of this foliage on, is what happens. I did dip it in the cinnamon, didn't I?
Not that one, you didn't know.
Didn't I? I'll do next one into cinnamon then. What happens is you've got a lot of moisture in this potato.
Yeah.
So instead of watering this cutting all the time, it's going to draw its moisture, again, a bit like a cut flour would in water, from the potato. Now when it starts putting its roots out, this potato starts decaying.
Yeah.
And then it gets the nutrients
From
what's in there, feeds the rows.
Ooh.
So what we've got to do, when I've done a couple more cuttings, is you've got to treat this potato like you're growing it for a crop. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go out to a bed. We're actually going to plant that potato.
Right, okay.
That rose in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right, I'll do one more, but I'll remember to use cinnamon this time. I don't need my drill yet. Thank you very much. He's starting to go a bit wilty on us. Like I say, you've got to be a bit quick in here. We're looking at 80 degrees, even though there's a fair wind blowing.
Yeah, it's
Again, nice angled cut. Let's have a bit of this growth off.
so is there any reason why you don't use the top, or can you use the top?
You can use the top, yeah. Yeah, you can do, yeah. The only thing I'm worried about that is it a bit more flimsy growth. And
Yeah.
also, the other thing about this tip point, what I don't know about, is if there's actually a flower bud initiated.
Right, okay.
I know that that's not going to flower on me, because if it starts flowering, the problem is it's putting its energy into the flower and not into putting roots
Yeah.
out. So it'll sit there quite happily flowering in that potato.
Yeah.
But it's not making any roots. So that's why I like to go for a sort of a stem cutting, you know, a midsection.
Yeah, makes sense.
But when it starts growing, you'll get your growth coming from these growth points, like that one there. Yeah. Right, so I'll put 2 into 1 potato. Scoop a bit. So it's just worth checking that you haven't gone all the way through, because if you go all the way through, it won't work, because obviously all your moisture and everything, what you're after, you're going to lose at the bottom. There's a nice good tight fit. Oh, and I still didn't put any cinnamon in. Try again. Put some in, guys. Still some on there. So that's that one. Just 2 more, see if we've got another potato. No point wasting them. We'll try one with tip if you'd like one with tip, Dan.
Yeah,
There we go.
nice as a comparison.
Yep. It's all new to us. I've, believe it or not, never rooted roses in potatoes before. But that's the thing with a lot of these acts and tips and whatnot you see on YouTube. You have to use a bit of discretion and do a bit of research on it. Don't just take it at face value like I did with these. And then when you think, yeah, I can see the point in that.
Yeah.
You know, I can see the moisture content in a potato.
Yeah.
And I can see there is nutrients there for the plant to take up when the roots start, which should give me a good healthy cutting. I'm not saying it'd be any better plant than if I did this in sand or compost.
Yeah.
It's something different, Dan, isn't it? You know, you have to have a go at these things. Some of the stuff you see, take with a pinch of salt. You know, it's tomorrow's chip paper, as we used to say back in the day.
So if you were just doing a rose cutting normal, then how would you go about that rather than using a potato?
Exactly the same method, but without the potato.
Yeah, you just into like you say, a compost.
A very, very sand. Outside, I've got 2 beds that I've done for carrots.
Yeah.
This, to be honest with you, this you can do all year round.
Yeah.
Into these potatoes. As rose cuttings, if I were doing them into normal substrates, you know, a rooting medium, whatever you want to call it, I'd be doing it more a bit earlier than this.
Yeah.
You know, a bit more as it was just coming into leaf.
Yeah.
The more energy in the plant, then they're not just trying to flower, they're putting growth on, which is what we want. But I'd put them straight into a sand bed like that.
Yeah.
You know, keep plenty of water on them, keep them nice and protected, and they should grow away on you pretty. Without too much problems, really. You're wanting about to give them 8 weeks, 2 months, really, to be getting some roots on these to get them something like. Another little benefit of this, I seem to keep going back to cut flowers some reason tonight, but if you don't get bought a bunch of roses, and there's one in particular, might be some sort of sentimental value or just like the colour.
Yeah,
This is the way to root them.
exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Do that, you know, that stem cutting like we've
Yeah,
done
yeah.
here. Below the flower, obviously, discard the flower, or
Yeah.
just keep the flower but shorten the stem. Try it this way. We'll go and plant these down.
Definitely. Go on.
Right, so come outside. Just pick bed 8 out, no particular reason. It's just the first bed I've got that I've got anything in. I've got gladiolus and then dahlias at the other side. So just dig a planting hole. I'm going about the travel's depth. So the main thing to do is make sure the potatoes planted. You can't see any of the potato, and leave the rose cuttings exposed at the top. I don't think there'll be anything really going in this bed this year now, so perhaps some green manure, some winter green manure, that'll be it. Summer green manure even. Manure. You said potato, I said potato. Give them a firm. That's your lot then.
That's it.
We shall see what happens with the old rose and potato.
That's great. And this new path will be
Yes, yes.
probably
this has
looking
been
somewhat
fed and
better.
watered as well, this. Yes, we're converting over to the old grass paths, to the green paths. Aesthetically, I don't think you can beat them. You know.
No, they look, they set it off as well, don't they? It
Yeah.
looks a
And
lot
I
better.
like my flowers, and nothing goes better backdrop to flowers and a nice, lawn path.
Yeah,
So yeah. You want to believe in these? We're in June now. I'll be having a look at these beginning of September.
Yeah.
So it's not an overnight thing. You've got to give them a chance. Same again. Treat them like it's potatoes going to grow. So any really bad dry spells, make sure you keep on top of them. Give them a drop of water. Yeah. If that potato starts sending shoots up, there's a chance of that. If it's got an eye on it,
yeah.
nip them off. Yeah.
Just keep on top of them.
Yep. What we're going to look at? Are we on next week, Dan? Are we going to do a bit
Yeah,
of
we're on next week. Sure, we'll find something to do.
Yep. I think what we might do next week then is we might have a look. We will have got as marrows and stuff out then. This will have got tidied up a lot by then as well then. We'll have a look at how we've planted as marrows. This is stuff really what's for growing giant veg, big marrows.
Yeah.
We're growing usually in excess of £100 marrows every year. But the way we plant them, what I'm trying to do going forwards with them, and also how we're watering them, because we've totally changed how we're going to water as giant stuff this year, haven't we?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got a different
We'll
path
come
this
to
year.
that next week and show you through. And the thing is, you can relate that to any veg you're growing. You can water it this way. But I'll not go too much into it, but we've always used timers and nose lock timers, and
Yeah.
we're not doing that this year. We're going to try something not revolutionary, but a little bit different.
Yeah,
Yeah. That good for you, Dan?
that's good for
I
me.
hope you enjoyed that, guys. It's been something a bit different, and yeah, get yourself a few potatoes. There's plenty of roses out there now, and just for fun, have a go. Why not?
Why
If you
not?
haven't got a bed, stick them in a pot full of compost and just water them. 2 litre pot, whatever you've got, don't matter. Pot bucket. See you later, guys.
Cheers.